You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
It is award season across the NFL, which can only mean one thing and one thing only.
Welcome to the second annual 2024 Go Time Dolphins Awards. Introducing our host, Mr. Charlie Touche, and our co-host for the evening, Kadeem Simmons. Your favourite team and your favourite players from your favourite podcast's favourite podcast.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem, boy, you're looking dapper.
You know what? It's funny you say that. This is the exact shirt I wore when I got married and the exact blazer I wore when I got married. I just didn't have the bow tie. I'm not a tie person, but yeah.
So you're married to the game is what you're saying?
100%. It is what it is. This is how it works. And I'm loving your look as well. Is that a pink? Have you gone for pink this year? Like a pink and I guess burgundy?
So, I was playing with the Reds, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like, I'm up by Canada right now. It's cold up here. And I didn't have my selection like I would if I was back home. So this is what I had to make work. I had to piece it together and peek behind the curtain. Kadeem, you did not wear what you was wearing the last time we almost went on for the awards the other day, and you did not wear that.
I did not, but that's because I saw what you was wearing, and I was like, you know what? I've got to up my game. You came full court press, like all out blitz, so I had to do the same. Shout out to the greatest Hannah Montana. She said he's not married to the game. I think I am, but that can be discussed at a later date.
But that could have went another way. Boy, you could have got a lot of trouble if you ain't say the right thing just now with the wife popping in. Listen, Kadeem, man, it's the 2024 Go Time Dolphins Awards, although we have in the 2025, but it's not the 2025 season. Unfortunately, the Dolphins didn't make the playoffs, but there are still some things to celebrate. Do you want to get us started off?
Yeah, 100%. So we are running back the awards we did last year, so we can obviously see, I guess, who wins what in each year. Have a little Hall of Fame, I guess. And this year we are starting out with the moment of the year. On the top of your head, Charlie, can you remember what won last year? Moment of the year.
Moment of the year.
You want me again?
Moment of the year was the Jason Sanders field goal when the Dolphins ran onto the field and it was in slow motion and the Celine Dion music. We made the playoffs. It was a playoff clinching win over Dallas. That was moment of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Before I bring it up, I found it quite difficult to have a moment of the year this year because it wasn't the best year. But I think it's fair to say that when this moment happened, it looked like it was going to be the start of something beautiful instead of the start of something quite disappointing. Is that fair to say?
Yes. And we were also at the game.
That as well. And I think there's kind of a trend with some of these awards. So with no further ado, the GTD moment of the year for 2024 goes to Jevon Holland and his punch out against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which kind of turned that game around and the Dolphins ended up winning that game. So, yeah, Charlie, what do you remember of that moment?
Kind of. Kadeem, that play saved the game literally. We were going to lose that game if the Javon Javelin didn't make an appearance. at the 1 yard line in the end zone that we were sitting at. I was in that end zone. You were like adjacent to it. Bro, this was the game saving. This had a chance to be play of the year. You know what I'm saying? But it was definitely the biggest moment of the year, and it's unfortunate that it came in week 1 of the season, Kadeem.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes these things happen. Like I said, when it happened, we thought, okay, this is going to be a great season. Holland, friend of the podcast, Jevon Holland, gonna continue. It didn't happen, but I think we are blessed to be in the stadium when it happened. So it is what it is.
We go from moment of the year to picture of the year. And one of us was in the stadium when this happened as well. And the picture of the year, Kadeem, I knew it when it happened. I knew that this was going to be the picture of the year when this thing happened. And it came the week after the Jaguars game. And the picture of the year is Coach McDaniel kissing Tua on the forehead. It was so profound. And it was such a somber feeling. It was such a poignant moment in just the franchise's history. It was almost a revelation too. Like, you know what? I think this is a real thing. Like, although all the other ones were real before, this was like, nah, bro. We thought we passed this. We thought we survived the storms, and this concussion was, you were there for it, Kadeem. But to talk about the picture, it was Mike McDaniel having a transparent moment, like, nah, bro, this is bigger than football. And he even says this in the post game. Tua was a family member. Like, that's how close our relationship is. And I sit here and I say this all the time, but there is no relationship we've ever seen in the NFL in over 100 years where a coach and a quarterback are as close as Coach McDaniel is with Tua Tagovailoa Tagovailoa. Shed real grown man tears a couple times over Tua and his concussions. And this picture right here gets the picture of the year for us.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's such a depressing picture, I guess. But yeah, it's when thinking about what should win this award, I don't think there's many that even come close this year, let alone in previous years. This is probably going to be an ever-defining picture for the Dolphins, for Tua, and for Coach McDaniel. So yeah, like I said, not the happiest photo, but just an amazing photo. So yeah.
And even if you look at the other players around, you had Walker in there, you had Jalen Wright in there. You could kind of see the it wasn't a regular concussion. Our teammate got concussed. That's unfortunate. It was like it was almost like, nah. The magnitude of it was, nah, we know it's a little bit more serious than just a concussion.
Yeah. So next up is the celebration of the year, and continuing the trend of games that one of us was at. Again, I don't think the Dolphins didn't have that many touchdowns this year, but I feel like the moment this celebration happened, every single person knew this is going to be the celebration that it talked about for ages. And for Dolphin fans, I don't think there's many better celebrations this year. I think just for the way it came about. So the 2024 celebration of the year goes to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle when Jalen Waddle arrested Tyreek Hill in week 1 against the Jags.
So Tyreek Hill, again, we're at this game. We're pulling up. I have to literally walk by the scene of where Tyreek Hill was arrested to get to where I'm going into the stadium. I walked on the same side. Like, it was right there, and the commotion was in the same vicinity. And to see this celebration, it's like the entire community knew it was coming. The stadium knew it was coming. The world knew it was coming. The league knew it was coming. And not only did this celebration hit, it was the timing of it, the execution of this celebration. It was perfect. It was a win. We won the game, Kadeem. Man, it was on brand, so to speak.
Yeah. What's interesting about this photo, of not so much this photo, but another angle of the photo, there's a guy who's celebrating right at the front, and apparently he's from the UK. He goes to like 2 or 3 games a year, and that's always his seat. So he's in quite a few videos and photos and stuff like that. So I guess he's a part of history, and shout out to him. I don't remember your name right now, but that's a pretty cool thing to be a part of.
So, Kadeem, I sent you a text, and you haven't responded to the text because I'm like, hey, we might have to call an audible here. Let me know if it's cool to call this audible because I don't want to mess up the program since you kind of like the producer over here. You know what I'm saying? We cool?
Yep, just looking at it now. And yeah, I guess so.
All right. So the celebration of the year correlates with the touchdown of the year. Yeah, Kadeem?
Yep.
And the touchdown of the year, as Kadeem gets it up, the touchdown of the year is the pass to Tyreek Hill from Tua in the same Jacksonville Jaguars game. We're almost halfway through these awards, Kadeem, and unfortunately, our happiest moments came in like week 1 because we didn't make the playoffs and we didn't have that good of a season. So the touchdown of the year is Tua to Tyreek Hill versus the Jaguars. It came off of the turnover prior to, and you just knew something else was going to happen here. Tua goes off script and causes, I don't want to say he caused his own play, but went past all the reads and said, nah, I see a lot of space out there to my left. I know I got Tyreek coming across. I'm abandoning this play, and we're going to go to the house with this one. Tyreek gets the ball. The stadium erupts. And it was, and then we get not only this touchdown, which won a GTD award, but we got that celebration, which won a GTD award. Kadeem.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video, a short video, which I believe Charlie Touche recorded from that game, just seeing how did the play develops and stuff like that. And again, it felt like the Dolphins were picking up where they left off last year. A deep bomb to Tyreek Hill, touchdown. Week 1, we've got this. We're going to the playoffs, and again, the rest is history. That's probably the longest touchdown of the Dolphins season. I don't think we had one longer than that, but
Kadeem, I knew it was going to happen. That's why I started recording. I'm like, bro, something's about to happen here. That's why I started recording. But go ahead.
Fair play. The next award is the player of the year. So again, normally you kind of want to do a touchdown, but this one didn't happen. It was a 34-15 victory against the Patriots. It was a few weeks after Tua had returned from his injury. But what was interesting about this play is, I think for a lot of people, it summed up just what the Dolphins missed when Tua wasn't playing. So the 2024 play of the year is that no-look end-around pass from Tua to Jalen Wright against the New England Patriots. And again, it's just from this picture alone, if you are watching on YouTube, it's just the coolness of Tua kind of with his left hand flicks the ball in the air, knowing full well where Jalen Wright's going to be. It's Tua showed, and the Dolphins, no one else can do this in this offense, and it's a shame, but it shows just how important Tua is to this team.
If you keep this picture up, the execution of this play, they have the cracks in there, the crackbacks. You got Tyreek Hill landing a block. You got Armstead with the block. You got Brewer pulling. Bro, this is a sexy play, to say the least. You just wish, and even when it happened, everyone knew it was like, we really didn't have to do that. We was just feeling ourselves. And we were really trying to get into that feel of 2023, Kadeem. We put up 70, and it was this offense that everybody was talking about. It was like, yo, this is different for a Miami fan who hasn't seen an offense be prolific in their lifetime. Now, this was the Dolphins trying to get the sexiness back. And it probably didn't have to happen, but the sexiness didn't come back the way we wanted it to come back, Kadeem.
Yeah, but still an absolute great moment, and further proof that no one runs this offense like Tua.
Since we're halfway, I figure I'll take the jacket off now. You know what I'm saying? Get a little comfortable, so y'all can see Bowtie Shouty. You feel me? Hey, Big Boy from Outkast got a song called Bowtie. We should have opened it with had I known we were both gonna wear bow ties. You know what I'm saying? We could have started off with the Outkast song Bowtie. But listen, we. As my dog Kadeem would say, we move on. I ain't got the accent, but we move on. And we're moving on to most improved of the year. The GTD award for most improved goes to punter. Is that for real? Are we really giving an award to a punter? Jake Bailey. Kadeem, you about to say something?
No, all good.
So we give the award to punter Jake Bailey because we've had someone come on this podcast, and not only did this person come on to this podcast, but they were trying to take Jake Bailey's job. And Jake Bailey came out and started coughing, cornering kicks, and it was like, oh, my bad, Jake. Like it looked like you needed a little pressure, and look what happened. You started performing. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I kind of felt like what was your boy from Training Day? Denzel? Jake. You know what I'm saying? And Jake answered the bell. So Jake Bailey gets most improved of the year. How you feel about the most improved player of the year, Kadeem?
Yeah, I think it's a fairly easy one. You know, Carl Ulbrich, you know, for those who don't know, sat outside the Dolphins training facility during preseason. You know, we're just like, I just want an opportunity. Give me, you know, either kick for kick or just let me in the building and let me show you what I can do. He was on Go Time Dolphins. He was on a few other podcasts. And I think there was a lot of fanfare for, you know, him getting a chance because Jake Bailey wasn't the best in his first season with Miami. And the Jake Bailey we saw in 2024 looked like someone who knew his job was on the line. It didn't last the entire season, but those first few weeks and the majority of the season, he kind of did what he needed to do, especially in those weeks where Tua wasn't playing and there was a lot more punts than normal. So, yeah, shout out to Jake Bailey. I think it's fair to say he earned his number this year. As you know, Charlie, you don't believe that punters and kickers should have numbers.
Listen, kickers should wear K's and punters should wear P's. Get the actual letter on the jersey. This is a K and a P on the jersey. I just believe kickers and punters take away numbers from players who actually play football. Come at me.
Not today. So the next few awards, they weren't contentious, but I know, you know, Charlie and I had a few back and forths because there were quite a few people who could have won these awards and they were all worthy and deserved winners. So next up is the Newcomer of the Year, and it could have gone to a rookie, it could have gone to someone else, but he won something later on. I think this person played so well during the season that when it looked like our season was done, people were happy to let him leave and go and try and win a ring, which kind of gives away who it will be. But shout out to the 2024 Newcomer of the Year, and it is Calais Campbell, just an absolute professional. And yeah, I don't think anyone can look past him for winning the Newcomer of the Year award.
Kadeem, keeping with the theme of week one and early on in the season, and we were at the game, Calais Campbell made the first big play of the game with a sack on Trevor Lawrence. And then I think it might have been 2 sacks back to back. His presence was felt immediately. And there's a reason why in this picture he has a C on his chest that says captain. You know what I'm saying? And then he also, on the other side of his jersey, he has the Walter Payton Man of the Year logo. Like, bro, Calais Campbell is a real thing. And shout out to Calais Campbell because I don't know that he should stop playing football anytime soon, if I'm being real with you.
100%. He's a man who defies the, you know, I guess father time, and right now he looks like he can go for another 2-3 years. Whether that's in Miami, who knows? But we've been told over here at Go Time Dolphins he wants to retire in Miami. So as long as this team is still competitive, there's every chance that happens. So yeah, shout out to Calais Campbell, a pro is pro, and yeah, just from week 1 to week 17, probably played more snaps than he intended to, but an absolute demon all season.
So we got 3 more left, and at the end of everything, we'll kind of break down where things got a little contentious between me and Kadeem and what could have been. But right now, we're going to get into the next award, GTD award, which is Defensive Player of the Year. Kadeem, the Defensive Player of the Year award goes to Zach Sealer, and there was a chance. You know what? Let me not tip the awards. Zach Sealer gets the Defensive Player of the Year award, And I kind of feel like he might have been slighted, like for just getting the Defensive Player of the Year award. But it doesn't go unnoticed. The man missed a couple games, but still was the reason why this defense kind of stayed intact. The defensive line was banged up. We missed out on Jalen Phillips. Bradley Chubb never returned. And Weaver had to use a patchwork defense and still almost get a head coaching job, or maybe potentially get a head coaching job. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if all the head coaching positions I'm not sure. I haven't been in the loop. But at the same time,
I think the Saints is still available, but
right. I thought the Saints were and that's the job that Weaver could be in on, but we kind of have a feeling where that job is going. Nonetheless, Zach Sealer gets the Defensive Player of the Year award. How you feel about Zach Sealer with this award?
Yeah, like you said, he was another player who could have won MVP, but I guess kind of suppose that he doesn't. But no, I think there were a lot of people who last year wanted the Dolphins to retain Christian Wilkins, didn't quite think that Zach Sealer could, basically play without Wilkins, and he done that and more. I personally think he's probably the most underrated player in the league. I don't think he gets spoken enough about how good he really is. I think Dolphin fans obviously know how good he is, and the league is starting to kind of realize just how dominant a force he is. But I don't think it's outrageous to say he's one of, if not the most underrated player in the league at the moment. That is Zach Sealer.
General Manager Chris Greer came out and said, like, yo, like the fact that Zach Sealer and someone else on his team did not get that, we'll get to that, someone else did not get Pro Bowl considerations, is the man said the word BS. But I appreciate him saying it because it was legitimate. And I think you just hit it on the head, Kadeem. I think Zach Sealer is the most underrated player in the NFL.
Yeah. Someone who isn't underrated, and I guess like his former teammate, didn't make the Pro Bowl, but kind of did make the Pro Bowl. The Offensive Player of the Year 2024 for Go Time Dolphins is Jonnu Smith. And I think it's really interesting because he started off the season quite slow. And, in a microwave society where everyone wants something straight away, all that kind of stuff, people kind of like, Titans don't work in Miami. Mike McDaniel can't scheme up Titans. And it's actually when Tua was out injured that Jonnu Smith kind of became a force and finished the year as one of the best tight ends in the league. Just an absolute, yards after the catch, a safety blanket for whoever was at quarterback. Jonnu Smith showed that a tight end can work in this system, and what a tight end the Dolphins have got in Jonnu Smith.
Kadeem, Jonnu Smith arrived, to say the least. Not only did he arrive, he is going to be a thing next year in fantasy football, in real football for the Dolphins. And he also may be the reason why the Dolphins don't go tight end in the first round.
So, do you say he's going to be a thing in fantasy football next year?
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah. Do you remember who picked him up this year?
Who picked him up this year, Kadeem?
I think I did. I think I picked him up, and I think I am justified in doing so. I might not have won my league, but I think I picked up a fair few players. Shout out to Michael Desire. He said Devon Achan when we would mention the Offensive Player of the Year. We gave it to Jonnu Smith, but again, I guess we'll speak about some of the selections we made after we've done the MVP, which is the final award of the 2024 awards.
So since we invoked the name Devon Achan, Kadeem, and we were talking about the Offensive Player of the Year, Devon Achan did not get the Offensive Player of the Year. And do we even have the clip still of Devon Achan getting drafted? If we do, let me know. If we don't, also let me know.
Dolphins are on the clock.
Okay.
23 NFL Draft. The Miami Dolphins select Devon Achan.
Did the Dolphins go 2 for 2?
Yo! Kadeem, like that was not planned. Like to be real with you, Kadeem and I, we put this stuff together on the fly. I think if we spent like just a couple more minutes to actually try to prepare a podcast, we could have a pretty good podcast, Kadeem, because that was not even planned, was it?
It wasn't, no. And thinking no one will ever believe us, but legitimately that was not planned at all.
Oh man, it was so good. And needless to say, the 2024 Go Time Dolphins Award for MVP goes to Devon Achane. And it's funny because he almost didn't get it, in our opinion. Right? Like we almost went a different way. But I hit up Kadeem. I'm like, bro, Touche's 24, Devon Achane is gonna get this MVP. And I cannot imagine, Kadeem, what this season would have looked like with Tua going down and not having Devon Achane. Devon Achane, Go Time Dolphins, MVP. What do you say, Kadeem?
Most valuable player. And last year we gave it to, was it Tyreek Hill? And we was like, it probably could have gone to Tua, but we gave it to Tyreek Hill. I nearly gave it to Tua this year, and not because of how well he played, but once again showed that when he doesn't play, this team can barely function. So Tua is the most valuable player for the Dolphins, in my opinion. However, Devon Achane, no matter who the quarterback is, be it in the run game, in the pass game, absolutely amazing. And there's an argument to be made that the Dolphins aren't even utilizing him to his best abilities. But no, Devon Achane is an absolute game changer with game changer speed. And he said to Kay Adams during the offseason or over the last few weeks, he can put in that workout at receiver, which I find really interesting because, he's want to be a 3-down back. Devon Achane is a special player. And the one good thing about clips like we just played and having, nearly 500 episodes on YouTube and Spotify and stuff like that is we have the receipts. And Charlie will say this over and over again, or I will say this on behalf of Charlie. Charlie knew before everyone else. He was on Touche's 24. The receipts are there. We didn't just make that. That was live on draft night. Go back and watch Touche's 24 from that year. Devon Achane is on that list. He's a featured player on the photo. I'm talking a lot. Devon Achane, Charlie Touche, speak to me.
Thank you, Kadeem. I appreciate that. I do, because we don't really do it just to say, oh, I told you so. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what this is for. But at the same time, when now that we did all the awards, peek behind the curtain, shout out to Lonray for the graphics of all of these awards. And shout out to 5 Yard Lead for the background. We always have a special background, special thing going on over here for Go Time Dolphins on special occasions. That's why we look special today, trying to dress up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though Hannah Montana said Kadeem wasn't married to the game, I rock with you, Kadeem. Listen, but at the same time, when we did Touche's 24, Devon Achane his picture was like a featured player on that list. And when we watched the draft together, it was a live episode watching the draft here at Go Time Dolphins. And Kadeem just said it like he said, he like, Dolphins are on the clock. Like, hurry up. Dolphins are on the clock. All right. I unmuted it. And Roger Goodell, commissioner, says the Dolphins select Devon Achane. That was my genuine reaction, was like, ain't no way that we're gonna get this running back that I love so much on this Dolphins team, with McDaniel as the coach, the play caller, the speed, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, now Achane. But I did not believe that this was gonna be a thing. I did not know this would be a thing. As Kadeem pulls up the graphic for the 2023 Touche's 24, the first name on there, Kadeem, is Devon Achane. The biggest picture on there, the first picture on there, is Devon Achane. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Andrew Voorhees right underneath him that we should have had too. Let's just chilling there. There's a lot of people that I wanted on this Touche's 24. But listen, man, 1,500 all-purpose yards, 900 on the ground, 80 receptions. Like, dude is a receiver out here in these streets. 12 touchdowns, six on the floor, 6 in the ground, 6 on the ground, 6 in the air. Devon Achane, before we wrap up about Devon Achane, you got anything else on Devon Achane before we tell everybody how we came to our decision about all these awards?
You know, he said it himself. He left some yards, some plays on the field, which is amazing given what he managed to achieve. The future's bright for him as long as he stays healthy and the Dolphins use him right. He will continue to be a special back in the league.
Those are all the winners for the GTD awards. As we give it a little break, let's get into what almost happened, Kadeem. So behind the scenes, you know, you guys, me and Kadeem don't talk about the podcast. We try not to do podcast material, not on the podcast. We just, hey, what's the word? What are we doing for the podcast? And we just get on, record, and just go. So for this is a little different. I had to ask Kadeem because, you know, there's graphics involved and stuff. And I said, hey, if you send, and again, here's the most important part of this. It's the GTD awards. So it's Go Time Dolphins as a collective. It's not Kadeem's awards and then Charlie's awards and then both of our selections. It's a collective. So we have to agree. And so this time around, I was like, yo, send me the list so we can send to the graphics or put it in the group or whatever. And when Kadeem sent his list, and like it wouldn't have an effect on my opinion. Like my opinion is my opinion. I'm not gonna change my opinion for Kadeem's list. So Kadeem sent the list. And I'm like, dang, we ain't got to change none of this. They're like, this is it. They're like, yo, we can just send this list in. And off the top, I was like, well, Jonnu Smith was a little bit more. I think Jonnu Smith was the newcomer of the year. Was it, Kadeem?
I would double check, but I believe so, yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute, bro. Jonnu Smith is a little bit more important than the newcomer of the year. And I think if I'm being for real candid, I think it was Jonnu Smith was newcomer of the year. Calais Campbell might have been defensive player of the year. Achane might have been offensive player of the year. And Zach Sealer was MVP. I think that's how it came over. Something like that, right, Kadeem?
Yeah, MVP. Also, I put down, yeah, Zach Sealer, MVP, offensive player of the year, Achane, defensive player of the year, Campbell, and newcomer Johnny Smith. Yeah,
right. So I was happy with that. Not gonna lie, we were really happy with that. And I'm like, yo, we could do this. I could get behind this. And Zach Sealer did miss a couple games, and I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Jonnu Smith, like he was like, nah, bro, we not winning game. There were games, Kadeem, where we were losing, and then, until Jonnu Smith got involved in the game, we would have lost. And that alone, so I was like, bro, maybe Jonnu got to get the MVP considerations. This like if we have votes, like 100 votes, Jonnu Smith got like 25 votes. You know what I'm saying? Zach Sealer got like 20 votes. And then the other was Devon Achane who ran away with it. So, yeah, we almost switched some things up. You want to talk about how we almost went in a certain direction?
Yeah, it's like I said, some of these awards, there were multiple players, and I think with Jonnu, Achane, Zach Sealer, and Calais Campbell, they probably could have won multiple awards each. It was just interesting how we kind of came to that final conclusion, and especially what we then changed the MVP quite late on, didn't we? With like, you know what? Nah, Achane as MVP. He just had a special year, and it's like you said, it's not, you know, Kadeem's award and Charlie's awards. It's Go Time Dolphins. And also, you know, let us know in the comments what you think. Who should have won MVP? Was Devon Achane the perfect person for it? Even something like defensive player of the year, or even newcomer, someone like Chop Robinson. There's some guys out here who missed out, not because they played badly, but just I feel like even though the Dolphins had very little success in 2024, the fun we did have, the joy and the hope for the next season kind of stems from Johnny Smith, Zach Sealer, and Devon Achane just continuing doing what they do, as well as Calais Campbell.
Yeah, I do wonder if we should start doing nominees. You know what I'm saying? Because a nominee for MVP, the nominees would have been Zach Sealer, Jonnu Smith, Devon Achane, and then newcomer of the year would have been the toughest, which was Chop Robinson, Jonnu Smith, and Calais Campbell. Like, what do you do there? You know what I'm saying? What was unfortunate, Kadeem, is all of the highlights of the season came in like week 1. Literally. The most everything came in week 1. Like Calais Campbell showed up week 1. Javon Javelin happened on the 1-yard line week 1. The celebration of the year week 1. The touchdown of the year week 1. And if I'm looking back, Kadeem, that's what it felt like watching this whole season. Like, yo, the highs of the season are gone. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we get a turnaround next year.
When I was doing some of the thing, I did feel like I was being biased because I was there, but I just couldn't think of too many highlights. The only one, I guess, honorable mention would have been the walk-off touchdown against the Paper Planes, Johnny Smith. But even that game was too close for comfort. So why am I giving you, moment of the year or touchdown of the year in a game which, why are we going, toe for toe with the Paper Planes? Don't do that. So yeah, it was a year probably to not remember, but I think all the winners of the awards were worthy winners, and we go again next year.
Maybe we do nominees because we could come up with some nominees for a couple of these things. Although this season was not that season, bro. Like we would have had, oh well, this is the only thing that happened in this category. You know what I'm saying? Like so. Yeah. Maybe we do nominees, or maybe I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let us know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the patrons, everybody on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? You guys had a opinion on some of this stuff, and you get to actually help us out with our award show if you're a patron member. So I said Patreon member. Shout out to the patrons. Anything before we get into bonus time, Kadeem?
Hopefully next year we are doing this after the Super Bowl. The Dolphins have won the Super Bowl, and we're also talking about our own Super Bowl MVP. Just saying.
And hopefully I catch one of those passes in the end zone that they throw the ball away and I catch it and I can sell it and like hold it hostage. But anyway.
You wouldn't sell it.
I wouldn't sell it?
You wouldn't sell it.
Kadeem, it's a price for everything, Holmes. It's a price for everything. They're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to get season tickets for the next 10 years for this football that we won the Super Bowl with. And I'll let it go. I'll part ways with the ball, Kadeem. Don't get it twisted. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
You normally ask this question. I'll ask it of you. Is there anything in particular you want to get into in bonus time? Because I have 2 different topics, but feel like there's no need to discuss both of them, if that makes sense.
Nah, I mean, had I known I was gonna take the jacket off, I didn't know I was coming out the jacket for the episode. I would have hit the gym a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So y'all could get the, you know what I'm saying? I would have, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't know I was coming out the jacket. I just wanted to add that.
No worries. So 2 topics: Josh Allen winning MVP, or Tyreek Hill's comments to multiple people on Friday and the last few days about what he said after the Paper Planes game and his future. What would you rather discuss?
I didn't hear the comments. Shout out to Bert. I didn't hear the comments, but go ahead.
No, so yeah. So if you didn't hear the comments, he, when speaking to Kay Adams, issued a apology to Tua. Like, I love you, Tua. I shouldn't have behaved the way I did. And yeah, just saying, and then kind of continue what he would say to other people, that he doesn't want to go. He loves being in Miami. He's spoken to his mom and his wife and other people. And yeah, basically it was a difficult year for him, for the team, but the team know he's not that type of player. And yeah, we're just apologizing, saying that he's ready to, continue working hard. He's going to continue holding himself to that kind of standard. Tua is his guy. And yeah, he wants to be back in Miami next year. What do you make of those comments?
help me understand why he apologized to Tua again.
That's what I find really interesting. Why specifically he apologized to Tua? Like, dude, you kind of spoke about the entire team, not just Tua. And one thing I've kind of noticed in this apology tour, it's a lot aimed at Tua. And I didn't think what he said initially was aimed at Tua, if that makes sense. Like,
but Kadeem, someone did come on the podcast a couple hours later and said it's because of Tua's inavailability. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the comments weren't at Tua, but Tua was the root of the comments, and I think that may be why he's apologizing. And if I'm being honest, it's almost like someone. I'm not going to go there, but it's almost like someone is apologizing and telling on themselves at the same time. And I think that's what this is. Although I kind of thought that, I think this is because Tua isn't available. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he's coming out and saying, I apologize for coming out like that. And I do want to stay here, but I am still upset that Tua is not available. And that's why I think he said at Tua. So I don't mind none of this, if I'm being honest with you. People who are human, they're humans, bro. They get paid millions of dollars. They play in a gladiator sport. And at the same time, emotions run high. And we live in a society where you can't say what you want to say, although there's freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying? But there's not freedom of like consequences, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But so now, bro, I'm here for conversation. I'm here for people talking their whatever they want to say. But again, just be ready for what other people have to say about what you said. That's it. Like, and that's what Twitter is to me. Like, yo, you said it on Twitter. Why can't someone respond to you on Twitter? You feel me? What do you think about it?
The cynic in me says he knows he is onto an amazing thing in Miami, which is he can kind of behave how he wants, kind of do what he wants, live that Miami lifestyle. And if he went elsewhere, he might have to be held to account more. But I also think he probably does enjoy playing in Miami. And the grass isn't always greener. He can, absolute no offense to friend of the podcast, Robert Hunt. I don't think Tyreek Hill wants to go play for the Panthers next year. Just don't think he does. So he's probably aware also that he was fortunate to go from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. Some will say, well, he hasn't won any playoffs games, but he's won a lot. He's earned a lot of money, and he's at least made the playoffs. You imagine Tyreek Hill going to a team where he is like legitimately playing for the 1 seed. Like if he ends up with the Giants next year and they stink again, his head will be gone in week 6, let alone week 17. So I think this is apologizing to stay in Miami and not get shipped off to a bad team. But whether the team welcomes him back, let alone the fans, is a whole other issue. And I'm sure, every opportunity to it gets between now and whenever, he'll apologize for what he did at the end of the season.
Bro, you could go spend your money in the snow and we'll ship you to Cleveland where receivers go to perish. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to J-Rob for that one. But yeah, man, I don't mind. I don't mind none of it. I don't mind what he said. I don't mind the diva mentality that he has. And I want to say this. I'm going to close the book on that. I was late to the podcast today. I overslept, and me and Kadeem had a schedule. Kadeem had to go a long time ago, and he stuck it out on the episode like, bro, I got to be up early. I actually have to go to work right now. So I'm like, dang, bro, this is supposed to be a short episode, and here we are with a full-length episode, GTD episode. Shout out to Kadeem Simmons for putting up with a tardy host and myself, and I appreciate you and your patience, Kadeem. And my bad, I apologize in public. You know what I'm saying? So my bad, bro.
No, I appreciate the apology. These things happen. Like I said, I tried calling you. Bedtime, I guess. 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. You've got work. I've got sleep. So, but no, I genuinely do appreciate the apology as always.
Last but not least, Josh Allen did not deserve MVP. That's all I got to say.
We shall see you on the next one. Peace.